Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBabeCrochet.com, and I want to welcome you to my first ever tutorial for KnitCrate. I've just really enjoyed working with their yarn, and I just wanted to give you a quick little peek on what you can make with this month's shipment. Okay, this is an asymmetrical scarf and worn very much like the one that I'm wearing. And let me just go ahead and give you a quick little tutorial before I show you how to make it. Let me show you how to wear these. Okay. And this is what I like to do with these, and this is a really fun color, by the way. If you like wearing blue jeans like I do, the little bit of blue in it just really helps that to pop. Okay, so this is what I do. I put the triangle. This is an asymmetrical triangle, or a scalene triangle, I believe is what it's called. Remembering back to our 8th grade algebra days. Okay, so we hold it like this. Then if you put it around your neck, just like that. You may have to adjust it a bit to see where you need to adjust it for your neck, but you can wear it like this. And then a stick pin or a shawl pin. It's just a great way to just fasten it, and there you go. And this way you can show off your cabling here and the ribbing on one side, and then you have the continuation of the cable over here. Okay, now suppose you don't want to wear a scarf and you just want to wear it as a shawl. You can do that as well. I'll just be careful to put the cabling on the outside and just around your shoulders like this, or if you even want to bring it over here and pin it, you can, kind of an off the shoulder. And believe me, this is nice and warm. This wool cashmere blend is really sweet. I love it. Okay, well, let me show you how you can make your own. Okay, for this project you're going to need the 2 skeins of yarn that came in your kit, and you're going to need a size G or 6 or 4.00 millimeter crochet hook. I also highly recommend that you have a yarn needle nearby to hide loose ends and a pair of sharp scissors. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, as we begin to crochet this scarf, which is actually an asymmetrical, kind of a scalene, or maybe might be more familiar with the term right triangle. These are a lot of fun to wear, and we're going to start on the small end of the scarf. And to begin, we're going to start with our slip knot, just like that, and we're going to chain 20 chains. Okay, so that is 20 chains, and we're going to begin in the 3rd chain from the hook. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. In that 3rd chain, we're going to work a double crochet. I'm just working along the side, one of the V's. I'm not working in the back bump. If you prefer to work in the back bump, feel free to do that. This is just going to be the foundation for the ribbing that we use to start this small end. So go ahead and crochet one double crochet in each of the stitches across. Okay, after you've crocheted across that chain, you should have 18 stitches. I'm not including the turning chain in that count. Now we're going to turn at the end of the row. We're going to chain 2, and this is where we begin the ribbing. We're going to start with the 2nd stitch. We always skip the 1st stitch when we work the ribbing rows. And if you've never worked ribbing before, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually easier than working through the top loops like you usually would. Instead, we're going to give the stitches a belt. We put the stitch all the way around the stitch like so, and then we pull up a loop and just complete our double crochet the way we normally would. That's called a front post double crochet. Now for a back post double crochet, it's very similar, except we come in through the back door, or from the back side of the stitch, around the front, and then out the side again, so that we are wrapping the stitch from the back side of the stitch. And then we simply complete the double crochet. And we're going to alternate that. Front post, double crochet, and then we do a back post, double crochet, front post, double crochet, and then back post, double crochet. We're going to alternate that all the way across. Okay, we're going to end this row by working a front post double crochet, and now we're going to work a half double crochet in the turning chain. We're just going to put the hook through the big hole right there, not a single strand. Yarn over and pull through all strands on the loop for the half double crochet, and this is what you should have at this point at the end of row 2. Okay, for row 3 we're going to turn, chain 2, and we're going to repeat this again, except this time we're going to start with a back post double crochet. We're going to try to keep the ribbing consistent. So if you see a back post, work a back post. If you see a front post, work a front post. These stitches are nicely texturized, and a lot of times you can use the nerve endings in your fingers to really help guide you into what comes next, especially once you get accustomed to working these stitches. I think you'll find that you really like them a lot. They're a lot easier to work with low lighting situations than, let's say, working through the tops of the loops. So go ahead and finish this all the way across. This row ends by working a back post double crochet and then a half double crochet worked right in that turning chain. Now we're going to turn, and we're going to begin row 4 with a chain 2, and this is going to be worked the same way as row number 2, beginning with a front post double crochet and alternating with the front post and a back post double crochet all the way across the row. Row 4 ends the same as row 2 with a front post double crochet and then working a half double crochet in that turning chain. Let's go ahead and turn, chain 2, and we're going to begin row 5, which is going to be the same as row number 3, starting with a back post double crochet and then a front post double crochet. And we're going to alternate that all the way across the row. Row 5 ends the same way as row 3 with a back post double crochet followed by a half double crochet in that turning chain. And so after 5 rows, this is what you should have. Okay, now we're going to be ready to work one more row like this, and this will be row number 6, and this is going to be worked the same as row number 2 with a front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet, and go ahead and work that all the way across. Okay, row 7 begins with a chain 2, and now this is where the fun begins. This is where we start our cable. We're going to start the foundation rows for this. Okay, to do so, we are going to work a front post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Notice that we never work in the stitch that's along the edge here. Okay, so we work those 3 front post double crochets, and then we're going to work a half double crochet working through the top loops of that next stitch. We're going to repeat that 3 more times, working 3 front post double crochets and then a half double crochet through the top. I must say I really like the way this yarn feels. This is really sweet yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3 front post double crochets followed by a half double crochet work through the top loops, and then do this 3 more times, or actually 1 more time. 3 front post double crochets followed by a half double crochet worked through that top loop, and go ahead and work a half double crochet in the next stitch as well, and go ahead and leave that turning chain the way it is for now. Go ahead and chain 2, turn. We're going to work half double crochets in those first 2 half double crochets. We're going to grow the scarf on this side very shortly. This other side is where we're going to be adding stitches as we go, but we're not ready to do that yet. Okay, now we're going to work 3 back post double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work a half double crochet in that half double crochet, and then you're going to do that all the way across. Do that 3 more times. 3 back post double crochets followed by a half double crochet, and then 3 more half double crochet, 3 more back post double crochets, forgive me, back post double crochets, followed by that half double crochet. And now we have 3 more back post double crochets, followed by a half double crochet. Okay, let's turn around, see what we have. It might not be real easy to see with this variation, but we're forming 4 columns from which to make our cabling. Okay, so now this is going to be row number 9. Now we're going to start row 9, and this is where we are going to cross our cables for the first time. We're going to start with the chain 3, and we're going to skip the first stitch and the next 3 stitches as well. And we're going to half double crochet in the first half double crochet, which is right here. After we do that, we are going to front post treble crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. After that, we are going to do something very interesting. We're going to work in these 3 stitches, but we're going to work them behind the last 4 stitches, the half double crochet in the 3 front post trebles. And when we do this is we come in through the hole back here, and then we're going to wrap it around this stitch. Now this is a little tricky, so if you put your thumb up in that hole, let me do it again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and prepare this slowly so that you can see what I'm doing. I promise you it looks really awkward at first, but once you do this 3 or 4 times, you get it, and it's like, oh, no problem. All right, I hope that's the case. So you come in from behind, and you come in through that hole, and we're going to go for this stitch here with the yellow, okay? And the best way to do that is I pop my thumb up there, and I'm using the nerve endings in my thumb and in my tall man there to help me feel exactly where this needs to go. And then I complete my treble crochet. And I do it on the next one. Again, I am using my fingers, trying to show you as best I can. And then the third one. And if you're ever not sure, you can always look down here. Okay, I see the stitch here, and then your fingers can kind of know what that feels like and grab it, and there we go. I promise this whole scarf is not going to be as difficult as this, but you can see how this kind of pulls these cablings around. Now we're going to half double crochet in the next half double crochet, just like that. And then we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and we're going to half double crochet in the next half double crochet. And I know that this looks like a big mess right now, but trust me, this is going to clear up in just a row or 2. Now we're going to front post treble in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. After that, we're going to come and work in front of the last 4 stitches, and this is much easier to do. And we come over here to the first of the 3 stitches that we skipped. We do 1, 2, and 3. After that, we're going to half double crochet in the next 2 half double crochets, just like that. And we have crossed our cables. That's what that should look like. Now after we do that, we're going to turn, chain 2, and we're now going to begin row number 10. And we do that by working a half double crochet in each of those half double crochets. Now we're going to work 3 back post double crochets, back to doubles, okay? The only time we use treble crochet is when we're crossing the cables. So after those 3 back post double crochets, we're going to work a half double crochet in between where these cables cross, and you should be able to stick a finger through there. I mean, there's a big hole in between where these things cross.
So put a half double crochet right in the middle. That's very important. Now we're going to do 3 more back post double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to skip this half double crochet, but don't worry because we've added this one over here, so our stitch count is going to be constant. We're going to half double crochet in the next, just like that, which will be the center. And then we back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Half double crochet in between where those cables cross. I know this looks crazy hard at first, but it really is not. And then back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And we're going to half double crochet in that turning chain, just like that. Now let's turn around and see what's happening. Okay, you can see how the cabling is coming along. Okay, now we're going to chain 2 and we're going to go on to row, I believe this number 11. We're going to skip the first stitch here and we're going to just front post treble crochet in the first, those 3 post stitches. Okay, and then we're going to half double crochet in the half double crochet that's in the middle. And then we're going to front post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Half double crochet in the middle. And then, actually this is a repeat of, I believe it's row number, let's see, row number 7? Yes, row number 7. So we're working those 3 front post double crochets, half double crochet in the half double crochet, and then 3 more front post double crochets. And this ends by working half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, so after those 11 rows, this is what you should have. Now to start row 12, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to half double crochet in those first 2 stitches, which also happen to be half double crochets, and then we're going to work 3 back post double crochets. This is also the same as repeating row number 8. So we half double crochet in this next 3 stitches. We're going to work a half double crochet in the next stitch, working through the top loops, 3 more back post double crochets, a half double crochet work through the top loops of the next stitch, and a 3 back post double crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches, and then a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then back post double crochets in each of the next 3 stitches, and we end with a half double crochet worked right in that turning chain, just like so. So that's row number, at the end of row number 12. Now as we begin row 13, this is going to be done in quite the same way as row 7, except for this one exception. We're going to start adding stitches at the end of this row, and what's going to happen is this is going to start getting larger as we go. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, and just like we did in row 7, we're going to start by working 3 front post double crochets and then a half double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times across the row. This is my second repeat of this. Let me try that again. Make sure I get both of those loops. With the different colors of this yarn, make sure that you are getting both of those loops when you work through the top for those half double crochets. It's a lot easier to get the front post correct, but working through the top loops, you have to be extra careful. As we end row 13, I want you to skip this half double crochet, and what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be establishing the V stitch, which is going to be the bulk of this project. I know we haven't done any of these yet, but let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to skip this stitch. We're going to work a half double crochet, a chain 1, and another half double crochet right in that same half double crochet. We haven't worked in this turning chain on this side, but we're going to start this row. We're going to work just one half double crochet. As you can see, it's grown just a little bit. Each row is going to actually grow a little bit as we go. So we're going to go ahead and turn. We're going to chain 2. We're going to begin row 14. For row 14, we're going to work a half double crochet in that turning chain. And then when we get to this section here, we're not going to work in the half double crochet. We're going to actually work in that chain 1 space. If you can see, it's very large. It might not be real easy to see, but we're going to work a half double crochet, a chain 1, a half double crochet right in that space. So each row that we do, we're going to be adding a stitch. So our stitch count actually just grew by 1 on row 13, and I guess every other row then it will grow. So for the rest of this, we're going to skip this half double crochet, and we're going to work 3 back post double crochets. The cabling portion that I'm showing you is going to be the same, or the repeats. I will have the repeats written down for you in the pattern if you'd like to follow with that, but the cabling is going to remain constant. It's just that the stitches on the end are going to be added every other row. Okay, so after that we're going to work a half double crochet in the half double crochet, and then 3 more back post double crochets, and then a half double crochet in the middle there, always worked in half double crochets, and then a back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches, half double crochet in the half double crochet, and then back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then a half double crochet right in that big turning chain. Now we begin row number 15, and this is where we are actually going to close the cable. This is going to come up this direction, and this side is going to come out that direction, while these actually go out, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. It's not as hard as it sounds. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, actually go ahead and chain 3 at the beginning of this part. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches here. We're going to half double crochet right in the middle. It's very similar to what we did before. We're going to front post treble crochet in the next 3 stitches. Now working in front of the last 4 stitches, we're going to work our front post treble in the 3 stitches that we skipped, starting with the one furthest away. It's always the case when you're doing these crossing of the cables, and then the next one. These are front post treble crochets. Okay, and then we're going to do a half double crochet there. We're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to work a half double crochet in the next one. Remember, this looks a little messy, but it's going to all come out. Then we work a front post treble in the next 3 stitches. Now working behind the last 4 stitches, the half double crochet in those 3 trebles, we come in through this hole, which should be really big and easy to see. Then we're going to front post treble around these 3 stitches one at a time. Remember, so if you pop your thumb up there through that hole, like that. It's a lot easier to see. I hope I didn't go out of camera view too much there for you. Okay. And the third one, which is right there. And let's go ahead and just check on that. And see how the cable is closing. See how it comes up and then it's going to close. And so what's going to happen is this cable is going to go up and around. It's going to come up and then it's go back out and so on and so forth. I think this is going to be really fun in this particular yarn. Okay, now after that we are only going to work in the holes or in the V's. So of the V stitch there's a chain 1 right there. So we're going to work a V stitch, which is half double crochet, chain 1, and then half double crochet, and then we're going to do that again in between the half double crochet and the turning chain. Okay, so we're not working in the tops of the half double crochets at this point. Okay, so now we have 2 V stitches where we only had really 1 V stitch and a half double crochet in the turning chain before. So it is starting to grow on that side. So let's go ahead and turn. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to work a V stitch, which is a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and we're not going to work in these half double crochets but only again in the chain 1 space. Honestly, with this yarn, if you accidentally worked in between, I don't think anybody is going to be able to tell the difference. So if you accidentally work in between, it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't think anybody's going to really know, but try to work in those chain 1 spaces, okay? That'll just be our little secret. Now we're working, this is actually row 16. Now we're going to do 3 back post double crochets. This is the same as, let me see, this is the same as what you did in row 10. Okay, 2, and let's catch this. It's really a little tricky sometimes getting these strands. 3. Now we're going to be working where the cables cross, that little space there. Go ahead and put a half double crochet in the middle. Very, very important you do that. Helps to form and give the cable shape. Now we're going to back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. We're going to skip the next half double crochet, which was back there, and we're going to work a half double crochet in the one that we can see right in front of us. And we're going to do that again. 3 back post double crochets, 1, 2, 3, half double crochet in the middle, and then 3 more back post double crochets, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip that half double crochet and we're just going to work a half double crochet in that turning chain. Okay, now let's see how this is looking. Now row 17 is worked very much like row 7 again. We're going to chain 2 front post double crochet in the first 3 stitches, half double crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet in the next 3 stitches, half double crochet in that next stitch. Again, 3 half double crochets. So make sure you're very careful that you get the right stitch. And then half double crochet in that half double crochet, working in the top loops. And then 3 more front post double crochets. Now we're just working the V stitches. And we work in that chain 1 space. We work half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. And then we go to the next V stitch. Remember, we're going to skip these half doubles. And we go to the chain 1 space and we work a half double, chain 1, half double. We end row 17 by working a half double crochet in that turning chain. I'm going to turn and chain 2. Now we're going to work a half double crochet in that very first stitch, in that half double crochet. And then we're going to work in the V-stitch. Put a V-stitch in the V-stitch, half double crochet, chain 1, half double, and then do it in the next V-stitch, working only in that chain 1 space. Now we're ready to work the cabling, which is just 3 back post double crochets and then a half double crochet. Repeat that 3 times. So that's 1, 3 more back post double crochet. This is very much like row 8, I believe. And then 3 more back post double crochets. Now this side with the back side facing will always end the same. Okay, it's just the other side that's growing. So when you have the back side facing, this is the way all of the back side facing rows will end, with a half double crochet in that turning chain. So let's take a look. So when we see the front side, this side should always be the same, the way it ends, okay? It's going to be more defined by the in and out of the way this cable develops. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, and this is row number 19, and very much like row number 7, we're going to start with the 3 front post double crochets. We've done this many times before now, so hopefully you're getting the hang of what we're doing here. And then we do half double crochet in the middle in the half double, and we're going to repeat that 3 more times with those 3 front post double crochet and then a half double crochet. I promise I'm not going to take as much time once I establish this cable for you. Once you understand how the cable is going to be formed, you will have no problem, I don't think, or at least you'll have a better understanding and be able to go without the video. Okay, so you see that part. Now this is where it's going to be different. Each row is just how you add the extra stitches, and you're always going to work a V-stitch in a V-stitch in that chain 1 space. And then this is what's going to be a little different each time. Okay, now last time we only worked actually it was 2 rows ago, we only had this little chain 1 area, and we would just work a half double crochet in that area. Well, now we have a half double crochet and the chain 2 kind of together, so we're going to go ahead and work a V-stitch there. Okay, so this is going to add to the stitch count. So now at the end of row 19, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 V-stitches. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, we added 1 there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So every 4 rows, you're going to get a new V-stitch added to your stitch count. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn, chain 2. Now we're going to go ahead and work a V-stitch in each V-stitch, and there are, let's see, how many do we have? 1, 2, we have 3. So go ahead and work those. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but that's just part of teaching. But make sure that you work only in the chain 1 space of these V-stitches. Okay, so that's what kind of gives it a nice little, let's look at it from this, nice little pattern, and I think this yarn is really going to be featured well with the way this is looking with this particular V-stitch. Okay, and then we work back post double crochet just like we've done. Work 3 of those, half double in the half double, and do that again. 3 back post double crochets, and then a half double, and do that 2 more times. 3 back post double crochets, and then a half double, and then 3 more back post double crochets. And we end the back side always the same, half double crochet in that turning chain. Now we're ready to start row 21, and 21 is going to look just like row 9 did down here where we went out with the cable. We're going to do that again. The only difference is we're going to have these V-stitches to work on the end. And we're going to chain 2, actually no, let's chain 3. I'm sorry, I always forget that extra chain is needed. And we're going to skip the first 4 stitches, this half double, and these 3 front post, and we're going to half double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to front post treble in the next stitches, the next 3. Now you want this stitch to be on top as it goes out. So in order for that to happen, we're going to have to work the next 3 stitches behind those last 4. So we're going to go behind, and we're going to work those 3 front post treble in those 3 skipped stitches. And the last one is right here. And we're going to work a half double crochet in this next stitch. And we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, half double crochet in the middle of that next cable, front post treble in the next 3 stitches, now working in front of those last 4 stitches, go ahead and front post treble crochet in those 3 skip stitches, starting with the one that's furthest away and then working towards the center of the cable. Okay, just like that. Now we're ready for our V stitches. We're going to work just in that chain 1 space. We have 1 V stitch, and then work in the middle of the next V stitch, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and then we're going to work in the next V stitch, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and in the next stitch we're just going to work a half double crochet for now. Okay, we're going to grow that side gradually. Alright, so this is what you should have at the end of row 21. It's getting bigger, so let's go ahead and begin row 22. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to work a half double crochet in that first stitch and that half double crochet, and then we're going to work a V stitch in each of the next 3 V stitches. I guess technically these would be called half double crochet or HDC V stitches. Okay, now I've done the V stitches. Now we do the back post double crochets. Remember, now this is the row where we work the 3 back post double crochets, and this one's just a little bit different because after we do that, we work that half double crochet in between where the cable crosses, right like that, and then do the next 3 back post double crochets. That's probably the trickiest one with the half double crochets, but again, once you do it a couple times, it's not a problem. We're going to skip this half double and work in the top of the next half double crochet, and then we work 3 more back post double crochets, half double crochet in the middle, and then 3 more back post double crochets. And as I've said at least 2 or 3 times before, this, when the back side is facing, it always ends the same way, with a half double crochet in that turning chain. Let's go ahead and see what we have here. Now row number 23 is going to be done at the beginning of this cable, the same as row 7 again. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to do the 3 front post double crochets and then the half double crochet, and we'll go ahead and do just one, and I'm going to skip the rest of this for you. Then we do half double crochet, and I'm going to go ahead and do this 3 more times with the 3 front post double crochets and then a half double. I'm going to go ahead and do the same over the next 2, and then I'll show you the V stitches. Okay, after completing the 3 front post double, half double, and then 3 more front post double, I'm going to be working in the V stitches now. So we have 1, and then the next one in that chain 1 space, and then 3. Now this is where we add another one, okay, in between that half double and that chain 2 space, half double, chain 1, half double. Okay, so you can see that it is growing evenly. And let me show you how this you can count these when you decide to add an extra one. Okay, it's going to happen every 4 rows. So this goes back all the way to row, see, 15. 15, you added the new one down here, then 16, 17, 18, and then 19. Now we have 3, and then 20, 21, 22, 23. Now we have 4. So every 4 rows you should see that there's been a new V stitch added, and we're adding them gradually by adding a stitch here and there each row, just the way I've been showing you. We're going to do that continually on the edge. And at the same time, we are going to continue to increase, or rather to continue the same pattern with the cabling on the right side. So let's go ahead and start row 24 now. We're going to start row 24 with a chain 2, and we are simply going to work 4 V stitches. Now this row is actually slightly larger because it does have the chain 2. Just wanted you to see that. That's what's keeping this kind of growing, even though we're not adding a V stitch every single row. Okay, so we have 4 V stitches that we're going to work only in the chain 1 space. Okay, so I do have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to work this row the same as we would have worked row 8, working with the back post double crochets, 3 back post double crochets, and then a half double. Remember that? So we'll go ahead and do that 3 times. And this is the 3rd repeat of that. And then after that we have 1 more repeat of just the 3 back post double crochets, and then half double crochet in that turning chain. As I said before, it's always going to end the same when the back side is facing. Okay, now let's go on to row number 25, and we're going to simply do what we've done with row 7, doing the 3 front post double, half double crochet, 3 front post double, half double crochet, etc. And then when we get to this part, we will do the V stitches. I'll go ahead and do the cabling portion. So after completing the front post and the half double crochets for the cabling portion, I'll go ahead and work the V stitches, worked only in the chain 1 space. Okay, so we've worked the 4. Now we do have this turning chain left. Go ahead and work just a half double crochet in that turning chain. Chain 2. Now we're ready to do row 26. Now remember, if you just have that half double crochet, go ahead and work in the top loops, work a half double crochet on this row. Okay, then we work in the chain 1 spaces to do our V stitches. pretty soon, once we get down the road a piece on this scarf, there are going to be so many V-stitches, we're just not even going to bother to count them. I mean, I will have them counted for you in the pattern, but just continue on in the same pattern and you will be fine. Okay, now we're going to work just back post double crochets like we've been doing in the next 3 post stitches, and then a half double crochet after that. So go ahead and work that all the way to the end. Remember, 3 back post double crochets, half double, 3 back post double, half double crochet, 3 back post doubles, and then a half double crochet worked in that turning chain. Now we come to row 27, and row 27 is very much like row 15, where we bring this cable on the outside back this direction and this one back this direction on the outside. Okay, we start by skipping the first, actually we're going to chain 3, then we're going to skip the next 4 stitches, half double crochet in that half double crochet, front post treble in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Now we want this on the outside, so we're going to work in front of these 3 stitches and we're going to front post treble in those 3 skipped stitches. This is a very visual pattern, so I really want you to understand. This is why I'm making the video. I really love it when crocheters understand what they're doing and aren't confounded by a written pattern. I love written patterns too, but I love visuals even better. So I'm hoping that this will help give you confidence to try this pattern and not be afraid of it. Okay, now we're going to half double in the next stitch, and we're going to skip the next 3 stitches. We're going to half double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to front post treble in the next 3 stitches. Okay, now this is the tricky part. After we do this, we're going to work in these 3 stitches, but we're going to come in behind these stitches because we want this to be on top. So we come into this hole and we're going to pop our thumb through there, and we're going to work that front post treble in those 3 skip stitches, but worked behind. They're front post, but worked behind those last 4 stitches. Okay, it's not impossible. It's actually quite doable once you get used to it. Okay, now we're going to work those V stitches in the V stitches. Half double crochet, chain 1, half double. You're going to get real good at half double crochets with this project, I promise you. And let's see, that's 2. Half double. That's 3 V stitches. We're actually going to end up with 5 on this row because this is the 4th row since we've added another one. And in that turning chain, it's a turning chain half double, if you can see that with this dark light here. Okay, half double. So we've added that 5th V stitch. Now if you're in doubt, you can always look at the shape of the scarf. It should look like a pretty straight triangle developing here, and if you're not sure, look where that last V stitch was added, then count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's looking right. Okay, now we've crossed those cables. Now we're on to row 28. We're just continuing on. We're going to chain 2. Now we just created that new V-stitch there on the end, so we just go ahead and work a V-stitch in that one, and we should have 5 V-stitches plus a turning chain on this row. Okay, this is 4. I know I'm working a little fast here. I apologize if that's a distraction. Sometimes it's hard to stop and slow down. Okay, so now we have the back side facing, and row 28 is very much like we worked row number 10, where we do the 3 back post double crochets, And remember, whenever we follow that row that crosses the cable, that's where we work the half double crochets in between where those two cables crossed. Okay, and then we go back to 3 back post double crochets. Make sure I get the correct strand there. Again, then we work that half double crochet in the center, and then 3 more back post double crochets, and that's when we work the other half double crochet right in the center, and then back post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And I'm starting to sound redundant here. We do skip this half double crochet, and we always end with the back side facing with just a half double crochet in the turning chain. Okay, so now this is what your scarf should look like. So at this point, I'm going to give you the repeats for this scarf. Okay, now for the remainder of this section of the scarf, I'm going to have you refer to your pattern, and you're going to be repeating rows 17 through 28. The only thing that's going to be different about these rows is the number of V-stitches over here are going to be increasing by 1 every 4 rows. But the instructions as far as the construction of the cabling will be the same. So if you want, and if you still need more stitch support, you can simply go back to the beginning, or actually to the part of this video I'll have it labeled clearly. So you will go back to row 17, and you can just repeat from that point on. Again, just keeping in mind that you're going to have more V-stitches than what I say, but the way the rows end will be the same. Okay, so go ahead and work on that until you get the correct number of repeats that are stated in the pattern, and then I'll show you how to work the ending ribbing. After repeating rows 17 through 28, you should have actually a total of 10 repeats. There should be a total of 12 honeycombs in the scarf, and as you see, the scarf gradually grows on the one side. Okay, and I do have 12 honeycomb cables here, so it gets larger and larger and larger. Okay, and I hope you can tell just this really nice drape to this yarn as well. Okay, so we have a really nice scalene triangle, dipping back to our 8th grade or 9th grade math class. So now we've gotten to the point. Let me show you what the honeycomb should look like at this point. And now we're going to begin working the rows to add ribbing across the final end. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to be starting with the back side facing. Let's go ahead and get our size G crochet hook. And we're going to do our chain 2. And what we're going to do here, we're going to work 2 double crochets in the top of that, or you're working through the top loops of that half double crochet, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets in each of the chain 1 spaces as we go across. Okay, so this is going to even up that edge so that we can come with the ribbing and the rows to follow. After working 2 double crochets in each of the chain 1 spaces of the V stitches, we're going to come to the cable. This is with the back side facing, and we're just going to work back post double crochets over each of those back post double crochets. Okay. And then we're going to work a double crochet right in the top loops of those half double crochet stitches. At the end, go ahead and work a double crochet right in that turning chain. And now we are ready to begin row 151, which is going to begin the ribbing rows. So let's go ahead and chain 2, and the ribbing is going to be worked just the same as it was at the very beginning. We're not going to work this stitch, but we're starting in the next stitch. We're going to work a front post double crochet, and then we're going to work a back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. So go ahead and work that all the way across. Row 151 ends with a front post double crochet in that last stitch, and then we end with a half double crochet in that turning chain. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn. And for row 152, we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we are going to start with a back post double crochet. We're going to do the next actually 4 rows of ribbing, and if you've done that before, you shouldn't have any trouble. We're going to start this row with a back post double crochet, and then we do the front post double crochet. So the goal here over the next 4 rows is you're going to make sure that if you have a back post, you're going to work a back post. If you have a front post double crochet, work a front post over that, with the idea that we're just extending the ribbing just like so. So for row 152, which is the row that we're on now, you start with a back post double crochet. Now for row 153, or the next odd row, we're going to start with a front post from the other side. Okay, so go ahead and finish those 4 more rows of ribbing. That would be rows 152 through row 155. At the end of row 155, I believe it is, just go ahead and work a half double crochet in that turning chain, and then we're going to fasten off. Go ahead and do a chain, and go ahead and leave a nice generous strand there. Give it a tug, and we are finished with our scarf, or close to being finished. We are finished with the crochet part. Okay, so this is the ribbing portion, and it should be about the same size as the original ribbing. Let's go ahead and take a look. The same as the ribbing that we started with. Okay, so there is one more important thing that we need to do, and that is to hide the loose strands. There should be only 3 or 4 of these where we joined, and at the beginning and at the end. So I'm going to just show you one of these and how you can hide it. Okay, what I would do is thread your yarn needle, and you can go down into the stitches just like this. I would do this with the back side facing. Okay, you can just keep going down, down, down into these stitches. Just like that. Give it a tug. And just to give it a little added insurance in case it wants to ever pull out, I like to kind of go up a little bit as well. So I'm going to go up into some of these stitches. This again is with the back side facing, and with all these color changes, it shouldn't really be seen much. See, just like that. Give it a nice tug. If I can pull this out, there we go. And give it, you know, kind of a little tug there, and get your scissors and very carefully cut the strand close and make sure that you're not cutting any of your stitch work there. And ta-da, it's all ready for wearing. Well, this ends the tutorial for the scarf. If you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button to my channel so I can have more videos like this coming your way. God bless. Bye-bye.